pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
All right, everybody, welcome once again to Sim Racing Media, home tonight to the Monsters of Speed Racing League NewGen Cup Series. This is their Daytona International Biggins Barbecue 200. We're in for 80 laps here. I am Mike Demoni up in the booth. Alongside me, special guest Zach Woods. How's it going, Zach?
Hey, Mike, it's going pretty good. I'm super excited to call this race for you here with MSRL. They are so excited to be finally back here and starting off a new season here at Daytona. I think we're going to be in for a good one.
Yeah, we definitely are. I've seen several of these guys out on track, and if the duels are any indication of what we have in store, first duel race was decided by 0.001 second. So the second one had the big one that usually happens at super speedways, but we'll get set tonight with these guys getting ready to grid up here. They're not quite ready, and I don't know that the grid's gonna work because they are using the manual set grid. So once they get rolling here, we should be able to do that. But Zach, since you used to be a driver in this league, and what are some of the things you're looking forward to about this season, and about this race in general.
Yeah, the cool thing about MSRL this season is that they have elected to go with an extra long race season. It is their most ambitious schedule yet. They have their schedule posted on their Facebook pages, but this is going to be a season that is filled with many ups and downs for these drivers. They're going to have opportunities to have bad days, and as you've already talked about, Daytona is known for the big one. So drivers can most certainly afford not to start out hot here tonight and then eventually make up the lost points over time. A lot of drivers are having chatter between one another saying, hey, the real season starts next week. We're just going to go out here and have fun. So I'm excited to see where are the friendships made out here. We're going to be able to see quite a bit of teamwork today, and we have, as you can see, great weather, great track conditions for this contest at Daytona. But just a lot of things to take note of. We'll flesh that out, I'm sure, as the race progresses. But super, super excited to begin this season.
Yeah, so we are in for lovely weather here at Daytona. We're in for 80 laps. These guys do run with the stage breaks, so we will see our first caution at lap 15. Second one is going to be a lap 35, and then they'll have that 45 lap dash to the finish. So it is a super speedway. We saw a lot of drafting and a lot of teammates working together to try and get towards the front. We did see a couple drivers sit back in the early stages and try and make that late run, which that might be the strategy here. But they should be getting ready to get on track. Let's see if maybe we can take a look at some of these drivers here. So there is Greg Wood Jr. Greg Wood Jr. did set the fastest qualifying lap, so he will be out in pole position. He did that a few nights ago. And John McIntyre. Actually, not seeing session.
I don't see him either. So very well could be a missed opportunity for him tonight. But a lot of other drivers here in the field that are really ready to get going. One of them is going to be SRM's very own Angel Santiago here tonight. He was able to get that monkey off his back and finally get a win in league play, although that was at a dual race, so it's a non-points paying race. Some would argue it doesn't count, but I'm sure he's excited to finally get that that elusive win out of the way and hit the ground running here for the regular season.
Yeah, I talked to him after that race, and I'm like, man, how does it feel to get that monkey off your back? And he goes, I don't care that it's just a duel. And I definitely can see that. I mean, it's starting season 4. He's been close so many times, and something always just happens to go just not his way. Last time at the duels, everything seemed to go his way. He was sitting at just the right place when the big one kind of took shape, and he wound up getting through it nice and clean and winning his duel. Winner of the other duel by just a little bit was Kevin Gibney Jr. So they'll start in row 2, and then the rest of the field will fill out as the inside row is going to be everybody basically from duel 1. The outside row is everybody from duel 2. So we'll see how that all shakes out, because everybody seemed to have their drafting partner in their duel almost. So
yeah, it was it was crazy how that all shook out. They were able to seemingly to find their friends, and it all worked out for the dual races. But we're gonna talk about friendships all throughout tonight. Early on, they're gonna be who's in your radio chat. They're gonna be who you are most comfortable racing with. We have a story of the night, 2 Toyotas in this entire field. So manufacturer play can definitely be a topic of conversation, but if you're Bud Barnes or Greg Wood Jr., you're on the outside looking in if those are your friends. So where are you going to find them? And then as the day rolls along, your friends become who you're driving next to, and I can't wait to at the end of 80 laps, or rather at the end of 79 laps, see where everybody's friends are and see which combo winds up winning this thing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing. You're only going to be friends for so long, and that kind of is what triggered that duel number 2, is a little bit of trying to block and trying to anticipate where that run was going to come from. So I'm assuming we're probably going to see something pretty close to that happening here as well. But they should be about getting set to get their cars out on the grid and get lined up. Take them maybe a couple laps to get the grid all situated there. But other than that, we should be in for one heck of a race. We do have at this schedule, because schedule's kind of crazy. So we're here at Daytona, then we go to Homestead, and that winds up being a neon theme. And then it's Milwaukee, Auto Club, Las Vegas. Nothing really too bad. And then we go to we have a bye week, and then we go to New Atlanta, and then Suzuka International. So they definitely threw some tracks in at you.
Yeah, and I know that the admins of this league, they were really excited to introduce Suzuka International and be able to really challenge these drivers with a unique track and driver set that these guys, of course, have never raced before. Not a lot of leagues out there putting that combo together, but definitely something new. It's going to even out the playing field a lot. You're not going to be able to come into that with any kind of real race experience. It'll be race weekend when these drivers figure that track out. So really excited to take a look at what that looks like here in the next few weeks. But as you said, there's a lot of racing between here and there. I'm glad they have a bye week to prep mentally for that, where they go, well, we are now leaving the realms of things we know, and now we're going to go attack something completely different. So it's a really exciting season. And again, if you're watching this either on Facebook or on YouTube, we really encourage you guys to check these guys out on Facebook, just simply because they have a ton of information about their current season. And it's very unique, that's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is. We will take a look here. See if we got everybody here out on track. Quite yet. They are taking their time getting ready here.
Yeah, well, they have to they're talking about the new league season. There's some new guys in here, so they got to figure out rules and stuff. Of course, this league does do the choose cone rule, and they probably have to lay all that stuff out as well. So for some of these guys, the choose rule is this is their first time experiencing that. So maybe the admins are talking about all that stuff with them, so there's no misunderstandings over where to go and what to do. But yeah, you are absolutely right. They're taking their good old time here, soaking it all in before the season gets going.
Yeah, it looks like they're set to start their formation laps here, but it doesn't look like anybody's moving at the moment, so we might take another minute or two to get this figured out. Oh, never mind. We will be right back shortly. All right, everybody. I believe we are back this time. I think they're going to get everybody situated here. Let's see what we got. Yeah. So there's the cars out on pit lane. So we're a little farther than we were last time, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, it all worked out at the end, right? So we're all good, and some movie magic happened, and here we are. But really excited to get these guys going here fairly soon. We had contact from the man in charge, Angel, and he let us know that they will be extending the pace laps just to make sure everybody is all situated where they need to be for the drop of the green flag. Of course, with this being the first race of the year, they're trying to make sure everybody's in the right spot. So they're getting all that situated right now.
Yeah, they definitely need to get everything situated, make sure this goes off the way they want it to. We'll sit back here and maybe take a little peek at some of the drivers. See if we can get anybody here. So we got Greg Wood Sr. Seems to be a new driver out and about here. See if we got, no. We got Marcus Chaffin. I don't believe he was here last year. You probably know more about these guys than I do, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, like what was said during our break, you were here, but I also was here in a very different way. Yeah, Marcus is new to the league this season, driving that 33 Ford, so I'm excited to see what he's got to bring to the table here tonight.
And then we got Bud Barnes, one of the other league administrators, repping a couple of the league sponsors, that Kids Lawn Care Service and the Waldorf Toyota. We'll hear more about them as the night goes on.
Absolutely. So Bud's one of the OGs of this community. He's one of the first few that started this group together, and he does a lot of the promo work for this league. And as you said before, he's responsible for a lot of the title reads that we're going to wind up reading tonight, and he certainly reps them well on his car. So hopefully we get some camera time with Bud up front tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And then we got, like we were talking about Kevin Gibney Jr. I believe he won Daytona last year, so he might look for it to go 2 for 2 here. Did win his duel by, like we were saying, barely like a thousandth of a second. So
yeah, Kevin's a pretty aggressive driver. Him coming out here and any plate tracks, you can kind of bet that he's going to find himself up front towards the end, just because of how aggressive he can be. He's willing to make all those moves, block when necessary, and if he gets to the end, he'll be up front at the end. So we'll see where Kevin winds up at the end of this thing.
Yeah, so they'll be getting rolling off here, and then they will get lined up in the correct grid position. So we do have, like we were talking, great weather here. Track temperature is 118 degrees, so definitely something to look out for. Then we got, look at that SRM paint there.
Hey, he's no stranger to what we do around here. That's the boss man, Jonathan, and really, we don't play favorites up here in the booth, but we are going to see a couple SRM paints out here tonight, so pretty excited for that, and we'll get to see that car probably a lot this evening. He's pretty comfortable with this kind of racing.
Yeah, I bet we will. Dylan McDonald wasn't one of the final four last year for Titletown.
Yeah, Dylan's again another one of those aggressive drivers, and ultimately, if he survives, right, that's the big caveat for tonight's race. If he survives, he should be up front towards the end. He's not afraid to make those jumps. He's not afraid to make those mistakes. So, really excited to see what he can do out there. He's one of the few guys that has a lot of friends. So, excited to see what Titletown and Rage does this evening, just because of how many of them there are in the field tonight. They certainly have an advantage.
Yeah, you're sitting there looking through the teams here, and it's like, man, they've got, I mean, it's two teams, but I mean, they pretty much work together. Then you got the High Side Racing that has quite a few out there as well. So, I mean, definitely something to look forward to and see kind of where everybody winds up here.
They're all trying to sort out where they're going to start. And again, this was predetermined by the league before before the race began. It's based off of dual finishers, but as was documented this evening, we talked about how at least there's one driver to our knowledge that is not in the field that was slated to be here. So that might throw the starting order off just a little bit, but nothing that these guys can't handle with another lap or two going around.
Yeah, they'll get this all sorted out pretty quickly.
But Mike, I was taking a look at what these guys are going to have to maneuver through during practice times. It was definitely a big, let's just say it was much needed for some of these drivers coming back into a new league, racing with guys that you hadn't raced with in a month and some change, coming back together, and then you're thrust into an opportunity here at Daytona where you have to work really hard together and be in sync. Saw a couple teams practicing pitting. We really haven't talked about that tonight because, well, there's stages in tonight's race, so that should probably take care of most of the problems, but drivers are going to have to figure out in that last stage how to get onto pit road, and that'll be a big topic of discussion this evening, as a lot of the drivers were actually complaining that these cars were loose, and for somebody that raced these cars at this track with this league last year, I wondered why. But then you said in the top of the show how hot the track surface is, so that definitely that answers it, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You'll have to deal with that. I don't believe tires are really going to be too big of an issue because it is super speedway racing. So you might see a little bit of pit strategy there. So we'll see how this shakes up once they get situated here. Like we're having a little bit of issue up there with Greg Wood Jr. So.
Yeah, you don't want the first race of your season, your pole sitter, to be the one blinking. So I'm sure they're trying to figure all that out right now, trying to get Greg as situated as they possibly can. I know the league has policies against folks who blink, trying to get that fixed. I myself blink quite a bit under caution. There's just something about these low speeds where my PC didn't used to like that. So once we got racing, it sorted itself out. So maybe that's the problem that Greg's experiencing right now.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, when it's sitting there trying to render everything as fast as it can, sometimes that does allow the PC kind of slow down a little bit instead of how slow they're going, because there's a lot more detail that you're seeing for a lot longer too.
Yeah, we don't see parts in iRacing necessarily like mechanical failures happen, right? You're not going to see guys lose a gear, or you're not going to see guys have parts just fail on their cars without any contact, without any reason. But here in iRacing, it is, you got to manage your PC, right? That is your car, that is your tool, and your internet connection and how you manage how hard your PC runs that can play a huge factor into a race like this tonight. The lights are still on the pace car, so we know we at least have one lap to green. So they're going to go around here at least one more time.
Yeah, they definitely are. We'll go ahead and kind of go back through the field here. So we got Kevin Gibney Jr. in third, Richard Gonzalez in fourth, Wes Fuller in fifth, Joshua Billeter in sixth. He's repping the race sponsors, the Biggins Barbecue. James Jones, Caleb Collins, and Dylan McDonald, and then David Mazepah.
Yeah, so being David Mosbaugh's best friend, I will say, now that I'm finally in the booth with you, it's pronounced Modusbaugh.
Modusbaugh, thank you.
Yeah, and I will champion that, and I'll handle that for you. So take a look here as we move through the rest of the field. So behind David, we have James C. Jones. Back in the next row, we have James McCanney. The aforementioned Dylan McDonald is the man repping that 38 machine. Is Rhett Bowser, a new guy to the league, is starting behind him. Bounced around between Ricky Gonzalez and Mark Parkhurst. It's kind of hard to go through the field now when they're all moving, but
yep.
Mark Parkhurst is one of the drivers that, in my opinion, you should probably keep an eye on this evening. He's pretty strong at super speedway races. George Jewell, let me tell you, I want to just, as a fan, speak about George here for a moment. I've seen a lot of growth in George over the last year and some change. He has raced me really hard in this league for mid-pack positions. George ain't about that anymore. George wants to go up front, race with the big guys up front. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that 07 up front towards the end of this thing. Jonathan Cogswell, 2 seasons ago, was your champion. He did so without a win. Bill Sleep is returning here for, I believe, his 3rd season of MSRL action. Cody Mitchell, new to the league, will start behind them around the 19th position. We talked about Brian Kaufman earlier. He's going to be repping a paint scheme tonight that has some shades of NASCAR royalty before him in the Havoline 01 machine. Excited to see how he does in his debut. Matt Metler is also, I believe, a new guy to the league. He will be repping that 97 machine, was pretty fast in practice. Bud Barnes, we talked about him earlier, repping Waldorf Toyota in Kids Lawn Care. Jonathan Leach, boss man back there in the 86, repping SRM. And then Blake Henderson in the 25 Mountain Dew machine, rolling off P26. We have 27 drivers here in the session. We skipped over a couple, but Mike, you know, we're probably going to cover them all because it's Daytona. It doesn't matter where you start. It only matters where you finish.
Definitely does. It looks like they are all set. Looks like the lights are out on the pace car, so we should be getting ready to go green this time. So we'll see if that pace car makes that hard left-hand turn and we get this race underway. Down the back stretch, round to the front. Here we go. Restart zone is in effect, and Greg Wood Jr. is down and away. Angel Santiago on his outside gets off a little slow, but Greg Wood Jr. and Kevin Gibney Jr. are hooked up nose to tail there.
Yes, and here we are going into turn 1. You see that low line getting a bit of a run, and that's going to be a story of the evening. Which line is going to wind up manufacturing the most run out of the evening? It'll depend, right? It'll depend on who is making the most headway and who's lined up the best. As you can see, big push there by Kevin Gibney Jr.
Yeah, Kevin Gibney Jr. was right on his bumper, gave him a shove, and got him a little bit out of sorts. We saw it last week during the duels. these guys bounce around a little bit, and it seems whoever can maintain that steadier wheel, steadier line, has the run, whether it's inside or outside. So we'll see if that is what happens here today as well.
Yes, Angel Santiago is holding on to inside the top 10. He started on the front row. He's got David Mosbaugh in front of him for help now, but looks like David might be looking to generate some energy on the top line as they get bunched up behind there. 3 wide back here. We're looking at a battle between 10th, 11th, and 12th right now.
Yeah, Angel Santiago jumps down to the inside, says he's had enough of that high line, and basically leaves everybody on that high line out to dry as they're more than a car length apart.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I think we're about to see the Daytona train. These drivers waited a long time to get going, endured multiple sessions, and they're now just trying to figure out, okay, how can I race well with the competitors around me and just chill out for a little while? Stage breaks at lap 15. What can we do here? But as I say that, you see Ricky Gonzalez starting to peek out there, so maybe they're not content. I don't know.
Yeah, you see these guys bouncing back and forth, trying to find the right way to go. Ricky Gonzalez, Dylan McDonald, 2 of the drivers who aren't afraid to take chances. Saw it last year through several races. And even Dylan McDonald in the duels was pretty much all over the track wherever he wanted to go. He had the speed, so he just needs that little bit of air to get through, and he does.
Be really interested to see here the number 7 and number 38 Fords. They're going to try to catch up to the 72 of Caleb Collins and the 38 of Wes Fuller. They are teammates, so I wouldn't be surprised to see either one of them jump up here and try to get a run here with their teammates on the outside. Wow, they wiggle really bad going out of 2.
Yeah, you just see them bounce all over the place. It's almost like ping pong balls, and it could be a little dangerous when you're coming out of the corner, because that high line bounces down low and that low line bounces up high. You could get real close real quick.
Greg's still blinking, so if you're Kevin Gibney Jr., you have to you got to be careful about how hard you push, because one moment that guy's there and the other moment he's not, but you have to keep acting like he is. So really curious to see how that's going to pan out, as Ricky Gonzalez about 2 laps ago was 10th. Now he's 3rd, getting pushed here by Dylan McDonald.
Yeah, Dylan McDonald has been one of the better pushers I've seen at the super speedways. He'll sit back there and he'll push, and if Angel Santiago bounces off the wall a little bit, but if he has the run, he's not afraid to take it either.
And look at that, how that disruption from Angel. He's the 3rd car in line on that high line, and that teal, we're going to call that teal, number 90 machine, just disrupted the airflow on that high line. They were making really good progress, but now they got to reset, refocus, and try to hit their marks here, as the front 4 have now gapped the field just a little bit with Greg Wood Jr., Kevin Gibney Jr., Wes Fuller, and Caleb Collins.
Yeah, these guys have. I mean, you'll tend to see that a little bit as you see Ricky Gonzalez and Dylan McDonald jump down to that inside line. And they're going to start pulling it. As I say that, Dylan McDonald pulls out and gets almost a car length in front of Ricky Gonzalez. They're just on that draft. Looked like he had a little bit too much speed and didn't want to run into the back of Ricky Gonzalez there.
Oh, we got a wreck! Oh, how did they save that beautiful snow?
Collins, Dylan McDonald, Wes Fuller.
Oh, 3 Titletown racing cars. David Motorspaw's in there across the infield. This is going to collect quite a bit of drivers here, because that happened around 2nd place, starting with Kevin Gibney Jr. and just kind of cascaded throughout the field.
Let's take a look here.
Yeah, I think they're already wrecking up until this point. There's something that happened between Gibney and Greg that started this, that got them all bunched up. But look at that, 4 or 5 Titletown racing machines in that. Wow. Yeah, in the middle of coming out of 4, I think.
Let's go back just a little bit further.
Yeah, because look, the 20 machine of James McKinney is already, like, he's already,
Yeah, he's
yeah, look
already
at that.
down there. Go back just a little ways here.
Taking a look here.
See. Not quite there. There's Gibney.
And he moves up a little bit, but it looks like,
Oh, it looks like Wes Fuller gets into the back of Gibney. That starts that kind of. And then we go up here and we see the Angel get in the back of the 20 and pushes that into the 72 of Collins there and sends him into Dylan McDonald. So Ricky Gonzalez goes around backwards. We got Dylan McDonald, Wes Fuller. I mean, that is a heck of a mess that was caused right there.
yeah, and most of those cars skirting through the infield, they're all teammates. So this changes up the complexion of the field. We get to see Greg Wood Jr. still out front, but now it's Angel Santiago here in second. And then Matt Bowser. We'll have to get in or Rhett Belzer, excuse me. I have to get in contact with him after the race for name pronunciation. But Mark Barker's still here in fourth, and then the newcomer Gregory Wood Sr. here rounding out your top five. But this is we've been treated to quite the event so far.
Yeah, we got everybody going pretty much everywhere. I mean, basically what we said at the beginning, everybody's got to find that partner, and we just saw him bounce around a little bit. Somebody got a little bit too much of a run, or somebody checked up or something. I mean, when you're going what, almost 200 miles an hour, you know, half a second of a checkup or something like that, you know, I mean, that's just kind of where you end up.
Yeah, and for a lot of those drivers, there was just nowhere to go, right? They were stacking up already. It was a wreck that was saved, and then then it wasn't. So you had drivers sort of preparing, okay, we can go back and race again, and then others getting ready for what was going to come around the corner. But that doesn't matter anymore. You have to reset. You got to refocus, get back in the groove of things, and really dedicate your time now to making your way back up front. I think Greg might be changing some settings or something down there. I know he's done that in the past, so that might be why he's on the inside.
Well, it looks like he's going to the back.
Yep, he's been given an EOL penalty by race control.
Looks like probably for that Lincoln.
Yep, might be because he took that himself. Drivers in this league are pretty quick to do that if they have connection issues. Or RC said, we've given you grace. That's enough. To the back you go.
Yeah, they let him start up front and let him lead around. So that is where it ends up. We got lights out on the pace car. So Zach, if you want to lead him to green here.
Here we go. Getting ready to restart here in the Waldorf Toyota sponsored Monster of Speed Cup Series. And it'll be Angel Santiago getting pushed really hard here by Mark Parkhurst. These two have worked well together in the past. They're going to be roaring through the trial. Both of them might clear the inside car of Rhett Balzer going into one. They do.
Heck of a push there for Mark Parkhurst. Sometimes you don't want to be that car that gets that good run off of the pace lap there, because you usually get run over if the other side has help, which it looks like that is exactly what happened here. But Rhett Belzer's still not too bad. He's sitting in third position. Jonathan Leach going to jump to that, well, was thinking about jumping to that outside, elected to stay back inside. Bill Sleep just behind them.
Yeah, and as you can see, looking through the field, there's a lot of single file racing back there. An early wreck like this, as we're taking lap 11, kind of wakes up the field. Says, "Okay, we we have a little while left to go in this one. Let's try to maintain the cars as best as we can, and try to mitigate any issues we might have. But we're also not too far away from a stage break, so I'd be very curious to see how anywhere between 8th and 13th and 14th are going to wind up racing these next few laps.
Yeah, I mean, if if you're up front, you're not too worried about it. I mean, you're just going to kind of hang around, hope nobody gets too big of a run. As Greg Wood Sr. is into the wall, bounces off that wall, but stays outside. Looks like he's going to slow her down and maybe take her towards the back as everybody else dives down to the inside. Looks like we've got Bud Barnes back there, James McCaney.
3 wide back there. Wow. I think that's Dylan McDonald splitting the difference. Yes, it is. As he's bringing Greg Wood Jr. back with him. This is back towards the 15th position. Oh, and there it is. Greg Wood hard into the wall collecting. I think that's Greg Wood Sr.
Yeah, it was Greg Wood Sr. So as we were talking about that, we were working through basically working towards lap 12 here. That is going to be the stage break. So we'll go back here and take a look at what happened. Take a look here.
I mean, he's 3 wide through the middle, trying to follow McDonald up through, and looks like Senior comes down there on Junior.
Yeah.
And excellent job by who was that in the 01? Brian Kaufman to avoid that.
Yeah, Brian Kaufman made it through, didn't have anything to worry about. Looks like everybody else did as well, so not too bad. Didn't really cause a big one. Did be basically set to go. So let these guys, looks like it is going to be the end of the stage break because we won't go back green before we get to the lap 4 of the stage break. So everybody should be coming down pit road.
Well, let me tell you, he went from not winning anything to now winning everything. He went and won his dual race, and now he won the first stage of the season. This is Angel Santiago coming down pit road.
Yeah, after he makes his pit stop, we'll see if we can grab him and get him up here in the booth. While we do have a moment here, this race is being brought to you by Biggins Barbecue. So if you're in Pikeville, Kentucky, go ahead and hit them up. They have delicious barbecue. Last week we were talking about their nachos are to die for. So if you are there, go ahead and stop by. Tell them you heard about them on Sim Racing Media from the Monsters of Speed Cup League. Let's see.
It takes all kinds of great sponsors to make this league go round. So thank you for your support here. But I think we're gonna make good on your promise here. Angel's probably chilling out, waiting to be talked to.
Hey, Angel, Mike,
Angel.
and Zach in the booth.
What's going on?
Well, not too much, man. So you go out and you win your dual race. You come out and you win the stage.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Just making sure we got through there. Yeah. That's pretty nice. Of course. Unfortunately, Greg got the EOL there for blinking that he never does. But working with my teammate Mark Parkhurst behind me and a buddy of ours, James Jones, we're just trying to maintain ourselves up front.
Yeah, a lot of drivers, Angel, they were complaining in practice about how squirrely the cars were. They were a little loose. And then we took a look at track temperatures and found out why. Now it's under race trim. What are the car conditions out there like?
Yeah, this is pretty squirrely, and I mean it's fun like that. You know, I'm glad we got to do this race during the day. We've always done it at night, but with 2 Daytonas this year, had to do this in the day. So it's fun. It is a challenge. You see these guys moving around. It's not easy in the draft, but I'm having a blast out here.
All right. Well, we'll let you get back to your team there, Angel, and maybe we'll talk to you later.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yep.
SRM front row.
He was very quick to plug that.
Yeah, he was. But Matt Metler and Angel Santiago are on the front row. Matt Metler elected not to pit after pitting on lap 7, so he is sticking out there.
Yeah, we talked about in the top of the show how tires don't really mean a lot. So, you know, if you pit at lap 7, you gain your track position. Angel just talked to us about how track position winds up hurting people as Greg got the UL and now he's laps down. But yeah, good job for Matt. Being opportunistic here, going to get the front row.
Yeah, we get set and we go back to green flag racing, and we will be racing to lap 35 for the next stage break. So definitely something to look forward to. See if Matt's pit strategy kind of allows him to stay up there. He has Mark Parkhurst behind him and James Jones just to his outside.
3 cars within their first top 6 have gained over 20 positions since the drop of the green flag. None more than our current leader, Matt Metler, going to lead them here to green. He's going to get a great push here by Mark Parkhurst. Looks like pretty early if you want to get pushed. Parkhurst is your guy.
Yeah, Parkhurst definitely figured out that timing and is right on that back bumper. Got to make you wonder if you're Angel there. You're sitting there on that outside row and you see Mark Parkhurst behind that inside. You know what's going to happen because he did it earlier with you. So...
yeah, looking like Superman out there, picking up people and pushing them away. So definitely a dynamic duo up here. As Matt, I think now is going to have to block. Or nope, he does elect to go to that low line. So we do have the duo of Parkhurst and Santiago here off of 4, but they are 2 by 2 all the way back through the field.
Yeah, that caution definitely stacked them back up here. You got Matt Metler and Bill Sleep down on the inside. Parkhurst and Santiago up high, but you also have the 45 that's having a little bit of an issue there. Bud Barnes gets pushed out a little bit.
Yeah, I'd watch out for Bud. Bud's pretty good at these super speedway disciplines. So it really excited to see him up here in the Waldorf Toyota number 83 machine, making his way towards the front. He's definitely got less help than what we've seen on that top line before, but looking to make it work there with another underdog behind him, George Jewell.
Yeah, you got George Jewell, and you also have Jonathan Cogswell back there in that old Mustang theme there. So,
yeah,
I mean, Cogswell was one of the final 4 last year as well. And we've seen if you can get 3 or 4 cars hooked up. I mean, 3 is usually the good number because it's easier to stay that solid line. You can move your way to the front.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And right now on lap 18, you kind of feel like, oh, there's nowhere to go. They're just 2 by 2, and I don't want to move in the middle here and force my way through there. And so that's where patience comes into play. These guys are going to have to really manage how excited they are to move up towards the front while also admitting, hey, I have the ability to do this, but I probably shouldn't try right now. As you take a look here, what is that, 6 cars back in the top lane? That's the 78 machine of Greg Wood Jr. He is at least 1 lap down according to my timing and scoring, but he's not afraid to be pushing and shoving right now.
No, Greg Wood Jr. has been the fastest car, not only in qualifying, but he finished, second to Kevin Gibney Jr. there. As he's in the wall,
no.
Collins goes around. Everybody is going around there. It's like Wes Fuller got a little bit of it. Man, go see here. just a little ways here. So as you can see, Greg Wood Jr. gets that run, moves to the high side, going to force Collins there 3 wide. And it looks like I don't know, it looks like both of them kind of come up and down, but spins him around. The 01 gets a little bit of it. The 77 is just slowing down. And everybody else looks like they get through it. So just a little bit of damage there.
Oh, there's Greg Wood Sr. up there spinning out. He gets turned. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And we talked about right before that, right? You know you have the ability to go quick right now, and you have the ability to force things 3 wide right now. And sure enough, we saw it there. So that's going to bring these guys under caution here once again. The leader here is Mark Parkhurst. So he managed his restart very well. He says, okay, I'll push you to the front, but I will pass you. So Mark doing a really good job right now.
Yeah, Mark's gonna be down, I believe, on that inside lane. So we'll see if James Jones can give him the push that Mark Parkhurst has given everybody else. If Mark Parkhurst gets that good jump and there's nobody behind him to push, look for that outside line to make that run. And while we're under caution here, looking through that YouTube chat, we got Mama Fuller saying hi and saying good luck as always. Tiffany Minks, go number 44. Brett Martin, Karen Mark, Maddie Minks saying go Cody. John, I don't want to butcher your last name, is saying go Parkhurst. And Haley Askew saying go McDonald. So a little bit of everybody cheering on in that YouTube chat.
Yeah, really excited to have the community come out and root for these drivers on the first week of competition. And if you have the ability to, please share this stream. We'd love to get as many eyes on this as possible, as well as all of our other SRM broadcasts. I think we do a pretty good job over here. So it'd be nice to share this and to be able to build the community stronger as we continue some great iRacing series coverage across a whole bunch of different driving disciplines here on Sim Racing Media. This is just one of the many opportunities we have to cover some great racing.
Yeah, these guys are out here putting on a show, and we're just able to basically allow other people to watch it. So, I mean, it's fun for us, it's fun for them.
I don't think anybody's having more fun right now than Mark Parkhurst. That guy, he can wheel the car wherever he wants to, and really, as I was looking, I was trying to figure out what in the world happened to him, but I've never jinxed a guy under caution before, and I thought that's what was playing out right before our eyes, but looks like Mark is up to full power again. But yeah, he can do it all. He can be in the front. He can push you. That's the kind of guy I want to be around for a super speedway race.
Yeah, definitely want to be around him. And it looks like they must allow just the race leader to choose.
Yeah.
Because I
gotta remember. I have to remember all my leagues, but I'm pretty sure MSRL has. I know I said earlier in the broadcast, and that's my fault, but pretty sure MSRL has a choose cone rule that says they are going to have the leaders choose their. They're going to have choose cone rules at every single racetrack except for super speedways, where it's just left for the leaders. So that must be the policy they're rocking again this season.
Sounds like it. Looks like they're getting ready to stack back up here. Pace lights are out as we head into the trial here. Pace car will make that left-hand turn down pit lane. Mark Parkhurst on the high side with Matt Mettler behind him. Angel Santiago with James Jones behind him. They are down and away. Looks like Parkhurst gets a pretty good run. We'll see if Santiago closes up behind him and closes that gap quickly before anybody else can make that run.
Tell you what, there was some gamesmanship between Mark Parkhurst and Angel Santiago on that restart, and it kind of messed up that top line, as you can see, drifting way far back.
Oh,
As some of
and
these
they're going
drivers, and we
around.
got another one.
Yep, Rhett Balzer.
I tried. Bowser?
Yeah, Bowser. I don't know. So let's take a look here. Whew. Apparently
Again, this
that's the
all-
place there.
Yeah. Just seems to be that's where it's all going haywire. And we'll take a look here. I think Rhett might get a bad push, perhaps, by Kevin Gibney Jr. We'll have to take a look.
Oh, it looks like Dylan McDonald
Ooh.
gets almost into Cogswell, goes down to the bottom,
Nope, he saves it.
but he saves it. Oh, yep. Rhett
Oh,
just
90
comes up a little bit. Right into
Yep.
Cogswell, right into McDonald.
Yep, that's certainly the case. You can see this is a great overhead shot, by the way. We got to see McDonald. He was right on that dark black seam. He had his right side tires right on that seam, and a lot of these drivers use the seams on the racetrack to judge how straight they're going and to see if they can maneuver around the track effectively without wrecking into other people. So he was using that black line as a guide, and that's just one of those situations. If you're the 94, you probably got to keep your left sides on that yellow line and try to maneuver the backstretch as best you can. But I don't think he's too worse for the wear. Obviously, he's got damage, but I've seen a lot of tore up race cars in this one so far. I think he can get it fixed.
Well, we got a pronunciation in the YouTube chat from Michael, and it's
Oh, great.
Balzer.
Balzer. Okay, thank you. And again, just like these drivers are getting used to one another because it's their first time seeing some of them, we up here on the booth are experiencing these guys for the first time as well. So we can appreciate any help with pronunciation there in the comments. So thanks.
Yeah, just like David there. Been calling his name wrong for I don't know how long. Get you in the booth, you correct me.
Hey, I'm just trying to do my part. It takes a village. So, but he's used to it. He's chugging around in the 19th position right now. But part of that Tiletown Racing Rage Motorsports gang that got caught up in that early wreck. So, but right now they're all chasing Mark Parkhurst. He is looking like Superman out there. Nobody can really get him on restarts. Of course, he had a lot of help from Angel on that last restart. Kind of checked up, let his buddy come down. And I'd be curious to see what that bottom line does this time around. If you're starting behind Angel, do you let him check up or not?
I think if I was behind him, I'd be looking to go to the inside as quick as possible, depending on where he's at. But if that starts happening, that could mean cautions, breeding cautions, like we've seen so far here. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, and these guys here, of course, it's the first time for week one. A lot of the missteps tonight have been with drivers that the rest of the field are probably racing with for the first time, and it is kind of hard at Daytona, close quarters all the time, to get used to those new drivers. And so this is just kind of the nature of the beast when it comes to iRacing. You have to get used to how your competitor drives, how often they're going to block or how aggressive they are, if they're willing to give a lot versus taking a lot. And ultimately, for these drivers here at MSRL, thank goodness they have a long season to get to know one another. So they'll get it all wrapped up. But here tonight, I'm sure there's some growing pains.
Oh, there always will be, especially when you're dealing with, a new season, everybody just getting started, as they do. But you can definitely tell who's who and where they're going, the way they've been running so far.
Mike, I think you're going to have to reset your mic. It's all over the place, at least for me here in Discord. So I don't know what it's like on your end for broadcast, but it sounded like you were doing your best Darth Vader impersonation.
Awesome.
Here under yellow. Oh, that might be good.
Is it better
I
now?
heard a little bit of it. Yeah, that's a lot better. That's
Okay.
a lot better. Just in time for the restart.
Here we go. Angel checks up a little bit. Going to let Mark Parkhurst probably get down to the inside. We'll see if Bud Barnes is going to let him do that. And he does, because Bud Barnes has nobody behind him to help push there.
Bud does a really good job, though, squeezing down there into fourth place right in front of George. They're teammates up here, so good sportsmanship by those guys. They've been racing with one another for a long time. But ultimately, the first side-by-side battle you're not going to see until about 7th or 8th position. That's Kevin Gibney Jr. on the outside, but right now they're all trying to catch Mark Parkhurst.
Yeah, everybody's trying to figure out what they're going to do here and where they're going to be, so we'll see how that works. As you see the big wiggle there from, looks like Jonathan Leach back there in the middle. Kevin Gibney Jr. up high right in front of the 01 of Brian Kaufman.
Yeah, they're all wiggling around. There's some guys in this field we documented early. They will not be content just sitting around. So you're seeing some of the more aggressive guys taking that high line. Let's see who goes with them as they're going to barrel down the backstretch here. Right now, it's only 4 guys here linked up together. You got a 5th back there, about 10th or 11th. So they're pushing one another pretty good up here on the high side. Didn't we see the 01 like sideways in the wall not too long ago? Here he is pushing Kevin Gibney Jr.
Yeah, there they go. The 01, almost gets a little bit loose there coming into the 31. Has to check up a little bit. Dylan McDonald's right behind that 01. Dylan McDonald might be looking to go to the high side as he kind of sticks his nose out there just a little bit. And we are under caution again. Let's see what happened.
We saw one car through the trioval, just exiting the trioval, really get sideways.
Oh,
This is
never
it's a
mind.
little different.
That's the one before.
Yep.
Here we go. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
I don't know what happened there. Yeah, he just went out through the...
So this is, yes. So I did see Bill get sideways here. Look at that. It almost looks like his wheel disconnected or something, because
Yeah, he's not turning at all.
No, not at all. Look at him. Just, he's trying. I think he gets into David Motorspa there as well. So
Yeah, Bill
unfortunate.
Sleep, Cogswell's back there. Looks like, yeah, like a few are gonna elect to take the pit stop here.
So a possible, what do we want to call that? Is that a mechanical failure? I feel like something had to happen. He just kept going straight.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be more of a technical failure or something like that. I mean, that was some sort of hardware failure, because there's no way Bill would do that, naturally.
Nope.
But
Nope. So we're under caution once again here at Daytona. And man, it's really, really hard for these drivers to get into a rhythm. But taking a look here at timing and scoring, from 15th on back, you got takers on pit road. So have a number of drivers electing to take fuel and possibly get some tires on there. For as much as they've been on the brakes and sideways, I wouldn't blame them.
Yeah, it looks like Michael Pittman Jr. was on at lap 20. But then you go back here, you get Wes Fuller, Caleb Collins, Ricky Gonzalez, David, you said Modispa?
Yeah, you got it. There you go.
Okay. And we got Joshua Billiter, Cody Mitchell, Richard Gonzalez. Looks like he's just trying to log some laps there, because he says he last pitted on lap 20. So, but up front it's still Mark Parkhurst, and we are going to have, from what it sounds like and everything I'm hearing, we're going to have a drag race to the end of this stage, because I don't believe that's going to be the stage break, if what I'm hearing is correct.
I think that'll be the case. They've done this a few times last season, just happened to where the caution lays down at, and drivers have just enough laps to get to the stage. So I'm gonna re-rack them here, and we're gonna start all over. I'm curious to see the urgency, right, that's in these drivers going to the stage. Right, there's already been a crazy amount of action today. How aggressive are you going to be if you want those stage points?
Well, that's just it, because we're going to be completing lap 32. We're going to have 3 laps?
Yep.
So I mean, you're looking at 3 laps to the finish of the stage. I don't imagine we're going to see a lot of people trying to move inside, outside. They're just going to try and stay right on that bumper and get as much ground as they can in either the inside or outside line, especially if you're already inside that top 10. You don't want anybody working together on either of the other lines to get pushed towards the front.
Yeah, so the magic line that you're going to be looking at right now is row 5 with Michael Pittman Jr. and I think Jonathan Leach is also back there. James McCaney is also hovering around there, so that's like 9th, 10th, and 11th. So a lot of the action is going to be, of course, up front to win the stage. Angel probably wants to go for 2 for 2. I'd be curious to see if he lets his buddy down this time. But you got to pay attention back through the field. Stage points matter, even here at Daytona.
Yeah, I mean, you're sitting there driving. You have to figure out some way to get some more points. I mean, I'd imagine with James Jones right behind Angel that they're going to go, but we'll see what happens right now as Kevin Gibney Jr. is in the high line right behind Mark Parkhurst. Green flag is out. Mark Parkhurst gets a pretty decent run. We'll see if he's going to be able to drop down in front or if he's going to stay up high and work with Kevin Gibney Jr. to try and get more stage points. James Jones and Angel Santiago are kind of bouncing around there, and Kevin Gibney Jr. is to that back bumper of Mark Parkhurst.
We talked about the aggressive drivers rising to the top, and that's no exception here as they battle for stage points. Taking a look as well, you got Dylan McDonald up here within the top 5, so very interesting to see where this is all going to shake out.
Yeah, these guys are going to be, we're going to see if they're going to try and make that last pass to get that extra point, or if they're just going to be happy and content to stay there. As Angel Santiago is closing in, looks like he keeps thinking he might try and pop out, but doesn't look like he will right now, as we are working on lap number 34 here. See if we can get all the way through this one and race back to that stage break flag.
4-car breakaway here coming out of 2. It's Mark Parkhurst, Kevin Gibney Jr., Brian Kaufman, and Angel Santiago leading the way, but the high line back behind them is starting to get organized. That's Dylan McDonald on the high side with Michael Pittman Jr. pushing in.
Yeah, Michael Pittman Jr.'s trying to get to his back bumper. You got the 08 of David Mayo back there as well. But these guys are slowly making their way up front. 1 lap to go in the stage. Angel Santiago kind of sticks his nose out to get in front. Oh, Kevin Gibney Jr. around. Angel Santiago in the wall. The 01 David Mayo. Pittman Jr. Around they go. And that is going to be the end of the stage.
George Jules in it. You have other drivers, like you said, like David Mayo's in it. Joshua Builder's also in it. A lot of these guys that were just kind of chugging along in the back of the field pretty much had to stop and wait for this caution to come out right in front of them. Let's take a look here on the replay.
Let's go back here. All right. So we'll take a look at Kevin Gibney Jr. gets pushed right in that right rear quarter panel, sends him up into the wall. He goes around. Dylan McDonald gets hit. James Jones. And then as they're going through here, you see David Mayo get clipped there by the 83, trying to hold his line. Gets thrown back up into Pittman Jr., into the wall. Then slides back down. Oh my gosh. Everybody's in the way there.
That's crazy. They're still wrecking through here. You can take a look here. They're 3 wide sandwich. Angels in the middle of that. You have the 08 sliding back around. There he goes. He's going to clip the 25 back up the racetrack. It's beautiful in a way as they all go in slow motion. But just a crazy, crazy mess. And back behind him, pretty much he had the whole field just sitting, waiting for the wreck to just get over with. And definitely going to take out quite a few fast drivers here.
Yeah, I mean, you're sitting there looking at it, and everybody's wrecking and trying to figure out what in the world they're going to do as everybody hits pit lane. But we'll see here. Looks like Mark Parkhurst is the winner, so let's jump and see here. All right, looks like he is down and away. We'll get him in here, Zach, and I'll let you talk to him.
Hey, Mark, it's Zach in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, you've been looking a lot more like Superman than anybody else here tonight. You can push, you can pull, you can do whatever you want out there. And a strong stage 2 for you winds up in a stage win. How's it going out there tonight?
It's going great. It's going to be a little shuffled now with that big wreck there at the end of the stage, but I had my teammates right with me there. We were working in tandem together, especially me and Angel Santiago. I pushed him to that stage 1 win. And he was trying to get me to that stage 2 win, but that restart and that wreck at the end really jumbled everything up. But regardless, I still got the win, but I'm back in traffic a little bit more now, I think. So I don't really think I got any teammates around me, so I guess we'll just see what plays out here.
Yeah, so what's your biggest challenge right now driving the car? Like I said, you were up front for a lot of that last stage. Now you're in the back. Well, mid-pack here. You're not too far away. So what are some challenges with driving the car? How's it feel out there?
It gets a little loose off the 2 and 4 sometimes, but that's really the only challenge I'm finding. Like, you can really push with these things. For the most part, the track's got a lot of grip. Car's feeling great, so just gets a little loose when the tires get too warm there, but other than that, feels fine.
All right, well, Mark, go find some drafting buddies out there and go have a strong stage 3.
I'll try. I see a friend right in front of me there in the 7.
There you go. All right, that's Mark Parkhurst, your stage 2 winner of the MSRL opening week here at Daytona. Matt, Mike, we've been treated to quite a dandy. We've seen a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we definitely have. We've seen some pretty good racing, and then we've also seen some pretty big wrecks. But it looks like everybody is pretty much all on the lead lap. I mean, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that aren't. Looks like we've had what, 1, 2, 3 people retire. So Brian Kaufman looks like he put it on the hauler. Jonathan Cogswell put it on the hauler. Greg Wood Jr. put it on the hauler as well. So other than that, it'd be good to go.
And up front, we have two Titletown Racing teammates, David Mosbaugh and Caleb Collins up here. So,
How in the world is Caleb still up there?
I feel like we've seen that 72 in just about every incident, and yet here he is leading him down to the green flag.
Man. Go ahead and give him a call, Zach.
But your top 6 did not pit there on that last cycle, and here they are. Going to lead him down to the green flag. It's Caleb Collins leading the field. He's got Cody Mitchell pushing him in that gravedigger-looking Ford ride. And, oh, we have a huge wreck behind him. That's about half the field back behind him. What happened here on the restart? I'm willing to bet a misshift.
Let's see. We'll go back here because
Yeah, they get bunched up real bad. Look at that. It starts all the way up
let's see.
between the 7.
You said the 7.
Yeah,
Let's see if we get a
that's
better
where
look
the
there.
chain reaction starts.
Let's go here. Let's see what we got.
So take a look. That's your 3rd and 4th place car here on the outside. There's a bump there, and then you're just going to see this go all the way through the back end of the field. There's Jonathan Leach. He gets a bump from the 94. Here's the 31. There goes Angel into the back of the 31. The 08 as well gets into Angel. And then this is, I think, where it all gets crazy. Or did they save it from here and wreck elsewhere? Yes, they did. It's the 94.
94 goes into the wall. Kevin Gibney Jr. gets turned into Angel into Blake Henderson.
I'm willing to bet the 94 shifted wrong because of how hard he went up to the outside wall. Normally when cars do that on the restart, that's what winds up happening is he goes from 2nd to 1st and then puts it in the fence.
Let's see if we can get a different view here. Let's go. Go to West Fuller up here. See what happens. Oh, back it up a little more.
Yeah, because they did wind up saving it when it all accordioned through, and then the 94 just makes a hard turn.
Yeah, so the 7 kind of slows down for the 23, 35 slows down, then it's just bump, bump, bump all the way through. And that is how you cause a wreck here at the Super Speedway.
Yeah,
got
accordion all the way through the field for sure. I think something extra had to happen to that 94 machine because I mean it looked like they had it all saved, and then he made the hard turn right into the fence. Obviously, that's not the way you want to turn at these super speedways. So
no, it looked like he saved it. Everything was going good. He was going straight, and then all of a sudden, like he got too hard on that loud pedal, and it just spun loose and sent him right into that wall.
Yep. Well, unbelievably, they are still chasing Caleb Collins.
Well, I think that's the first wreck we've seen that it hasn't been a part that he hasn't been a part of.
Well, I think it's because he was like, you know what? I'm tired of being in the mid to back pack. I want to just get me up front. If I'm up front, then I won't wreck. Which that's not necessarily the case either, because we've seen wrecks happen from 2nd place here tonight. But unbelievably so. We have Caleb Collins up front, who seemingly has been involved in just about every wreck we've seen. Take a look back there in that 5th place. Look at him. Mark Parkhurst. We just talked to him, and he was like, I'm in the middle of this pack all by myself. Now he's back in the top 5, so that didn't take long.
No, it didn't take too long for him to get back up there. He's one of the faster cars on track. We got a couple shout outs here for Cody Mitchell in the Facebook chat. George Jewell is got a couple fans in there as well. We got BHI Racing calling for TTR. Candace Terrell saying go number 44. Cody Mitchell again. So we're halfway through this race. What?
Yeah,
I mean, what more can we see, man?
I got up and I wanted to see more water in my cup, so that's where I left to. So I don't know if there's. I think the only thing left to see here in Mike is probably a long green flag run. How about that? Let's get all sorted out here and get a long one going. I'm so interested in green flag pit stops. You know, this league's got it in them. I've been in. I mean, you've been up here in the booth covering them for a long time. I've been a driver, been able to document how good this league is. They definitely have a long green flag run in them. Let's see if they can get one going here.
Yeah, as they come to pit lane, pace car makes that hard left-hand turn, and field is waiting for Caleb Collins to drop the hammer, and he does. It's out to a pretty decent start. Not that you want to be too far out in front, but nobody on the outside is working together either. Mark Parkhurst is basically saying, I've had enough. He's going to try and get right to the back bumper of David Mozapa.
Nope, Modispa.
Modispa. I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Yep. Yes,
Into
you
the
are.
season
Yes,
will
you
be fun.
are. Yep, I got you. And so they are getting really sporadic here, about 11th on back, but the battle, of course, is up front for the lead. You have two teammates bumper to bumper with one another, and there's Mark Parker sitting P3. It didn't take Superman very long to get back up through the field.
No, the problem with him right now is he's got to figure out who he can trust, because he hasn't been drafting with anybody that's up there.
Nope. His buddy in crime is back there about, well, let's see, through the field. He's about 12th. That's Angel Santiago. So they got some work to do if they want to get back up together. And right now, it's two Fords leading the way with a Chevy in third.
And then that outside line's got a couple Fords as well, with Cody Mitchell trying to make that outside line work with Joshua Billiter.
David to the inside. He probably got loose coming out of turn 2 there, so he's going to drop back to the back. That's going to shuffle a lot of people around. Cody Mitchell to the front.
Yeah, Cody Mitchell to the front. Dylan McDonald up to third. Jonathan Leach out on that high side, sitting P5 right now. Looks like he gets a little bit loose coming out of 4 there.
And that SRM machine, he's going to look to make some noise, I'm sure, in that ride tonight, but he's going to need a little bit more help if he wants back up towards the front. Meanwhile, they're all chasing Cody Mitchell and Joshua Billiter, making his way towards the front. He's got a very familiar sponsor here in that Biggie's Barbecue Ford. Wow! It doesn't get much closer than that between second and third.
No, Dylan McDonald was right on his back bumper there. Looks like Ricky Gonzalez gets pushed out of line there. Dylan McDonald down to the inside again. He's trying to figure out which line is going to work for him. If Joshua Billiter's not careful, he is going to let Dylan McDonald go to his inside and take that number 2 spot.
Yeah, those guys are team affiliates, so they are in the same chat room together. But Dylan, of course, never wanted to sit on his laurels. He's going to try to make a move to the high line. He's going to look for more as he's going to take the fight to him, looking into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a couple guys behind him, Jonathan Leach and James Jones there, trying to push their way up front as well. Richard Gonzalez is out on that high line as Dylan McDonald drops down in front of Cody Mitchell and then realizes Jonathan Leach has a huge run, pulls up right in front of him. Leach is right on his back bumper, trying not to wreck him as they make a little bit of contact there.
I tell you what, Jonathan Leach tried to lead that outside line by himself. He might have found his calling being the pusher here as he pushes Dylan McDonald clear away from the field. Wow, what a push by Jonathan Leach.
Yeah, Jonathan Leach had a heck of a run build up on that outside line. Dylan McDonald looked in his rearview mirror and went, I'm taking that run, and that is exactly what happened. But Dylan McDonald, Jonathan Leach 1-2 right now. Cody Mitchell back in third. Billiter back to fourth.
Man, it's crazy how loose these cars get out of the corners. I mean, it just looks like they're all out of control leaving turn 2. Turn 4's not so bad, but definitely turn 2, they are really squirrely, and you get to see through the field here. This is Caleb Collins sit here in 5th. That's the call. I was going to say the calm before the storm, but Joshua Billiter gets sideways.
Yeah, these guys are all over the track. I mean, I don't know which way is better to be, because you get out on that high line, you get a little bit of a run, but everybody seems to be bouncing around a little bit back through the field. I mean, you got Bud Barnes down here on the inside with Richard Gonzalez on the high line. Mark Parkhurst just in front of Bud Barnes. And you got, what, four on that outside line? Looks like Cody Mitchell and Caleb Collins pull out and are going to try and head towards that lead.
Yes, absolutely. It's a bunch of blue ovals up front right now, with James Jones and Mark Parkhurst being the only Chevrolets up here in this front group. And we haven't really talked about this a whole lot tonight, but to bump in a Ford is different than bumping in a Chevrolet. The Chevys have that pointed nose, and makes it a little more difficult. If you're the guy getting pushed by a Chevy, you do get a little more squirrely because the Ford has a flat front on it. Be interesting to see how that story develops as the race wears on.
Yeah, it definitely will. Well, while we have a minute, and I'm going to say this loosely, we're gonna go ahead and step aside. We'll go picture in picture, and we'll be right back after this break. All right, everybody, welcome back once again to the Monsters of Speed NewGen Cup Series, live from Daytona. Kicking their season off, we've seen a whole bunch of action here. I am Mike Demoni, and Zach, what do you think of this race so far?
Well, I mean, I guess you have to just name it and it'll happen, right? We said before the green flag drop for this run. The only thing we haven't seen tonight's a long green flag run. I don't want to jinx it, but these guys are kind of settling in right now, and we've seen a little bit of everything, and I think the field's starting to find their groove right now as it's a 9-car breakaway here in the front pack.
Yeah, this front pack is like running away. You go back, we'll go back here to like 12th and 13th here. Go back to, looks like Jonathan Leach, he got stuck when we were away 3 wide and wound up floating back to the back. So we've got Jonathan Leach, Wes Fuller, Angel Santiago, Matt Metler, James McKinney, and it looks like Richard Gonzalez. They're all trying to figure out if they can get hooked up together to get a run to go back to this lead group, because the gap between Jonathan Leach and 9th place is 3.5 seconds.
Oh yeah, and it would take a lot of dedication from a group of 6 to take and catch a group of 9. So I think they're going to need some drama here to play out. But of course, it's Daytona, and 26 laps to go. We haven't even talked about the need to pit again, and I think it is a safe bet that you might have some drama to fall back on here before the time is over.
Oh, definitely. Let's see what the last. Well, the earliest pit stop looks like last pitted on lap 31. So they got to be getting pretty close to wanting to come to the pits, and that's Cody Mitchell and Caleb Collins. Dylan McDonald, 36. Bill Sleep is at lap 40. So they got a little ways to go still, but I think Cody Mitchell will be the deciding factor. I think when he pits, almost everybody else is going to follow him down as well.
And I'm really surprised Mitchell and Collins have not kind of bailed out of where they are in this pack and moved to the middle of this pack, because if I'm them, I'm trying to make their tank last as long as possible. Right now, they're on the outside looking in, 5 laps less fuel than most of the guys in this group. So they're not saving. They're just going for it. And of course, Mitchell, being the first guy in line, he's getting worse gas mileage than anybody else.
Yeah, right now, if you do the math, basically they've ran 25, 26 laps on this tank of fuel here, and you got 24 to go. So they're definitely going to have to pit earlier than everybody else. So it'll be up to them to basically make that call. We'll see if anybody else in the second group elects to try and pit a little short pit maybe. So they come down now and stretch their fuel a little bit longer, but you have to get everybody in that group to do that. Otherwise, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to manage your pit stop with friends. And if you are these guys, I'm taking a look through time and scoring right now. I look back at the second group of guys. The oddball there is Richard Gonzalez in the 15th position. He pitted on lap 31 as well. We have George Jewell down pit road as we speak, but taking a look at Gonzalez here, he's the only guy in this group on his pit strategy. So he's by himself. He doesn't have any friends in this group to go down pit road with. He's going to need a caution or something big to happen.
Yeah, he either needs a caution, something big to happen, or the rest of this group elect to pit when he needs to. Because right now, they are gaining time. Because to 9th place now is just a little bit over 3 seconds. And as we say that, Cody Mitchell hits pit lane. But he's going by himself.
Yeah, that made a little bit of sense, right? Because he was the first car in line, punching the hole through the air, not getting as good gas mileage as everybody else in this line. But he's got to pay for it dearly, going down by himself. As you see, George Jewell here on the inside, Oh, they're getting really squirrely out of the corner. He's leaving
Yeah,
pit
yeah.
road right now. He probably wanted to catch his front group, but it's not going to be able to.
Yeah, and as you were talking earlier, Caleb Collins, after Cody Mitchell pitted, he pulled out and went right to the middle of this pack, so he's trying to save as much fuel as he can to try and stay out with these guys, it looks like.
Ooh,
Oh.
they're all pitting.
Everybody's coming to pit lane, except for Bill Sleep. Bill Sleep's the only one that did not at the moment.
Yikes, Bill is out by himself, and
Everybody in the second group pitted too.
wow, Bill's gonna lose a ton of time here on this lap because he doesn't have anybody to go down pit road with. We have some of these guys back here have not pitted. Matt Metler and
Yep, they just
James
came up. Yep.
McCanny. Yeah, so interesting strategies being played out here late in this one.
Yeah, I think that second group elected to pit a little bit early, and then kind of threw everything out of bounds there. Looks like Jonathan Leach is having a penalty served, or he's trying to get some damage repaired because he's been in his pit stop for quite a while here. Well, it
Yeah,
took
we
him
didn't talk it.
about a minute, man.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it, but pit road entry and stopping at your pit stall is really important. I saw a little snippet on pit road. I think Bill Sleep overshot his pit stall, so he had to throw that reverse to get in. So
Yeah, it looks like Cody Mitchell did too. He spent over a minute on pit lane.
yeah, I didn't talk about that. Pit road execution, making sure you get down pit road accurately, and then ultimately finding your pit board. For a lot of these drivers, this is new paints for them, right? So they have a new pit board. So you got to pay attention to what your crew's dressed up like, what your pit board looks like, and for some of these drivers, they just missed it.
Yeah, I mean, and then at least that's something a little different. There's only a couple packs here, but I would imagine that well, if you look back here, you got Caleb Collins and Wes Fuller, and they are hooked up teammates making their way. They're right on the back bumper now of Mark Parkhurst, so Parkhurst is going to get a little bit of a shove, if not too much of a shove, as Collins is right on his back bumper.
Yep. So taking a look here at the top five, you have Dylan McDonald in second, and then Caleb Collins and Wes Fuller. They're all teammates here in the top five. So if they get together, they'll have numbers. So we'll see how this all plays out. And we also talked about Superman earlier, Mark Parkhurst, how he's just willing to work with anybody at this point. He's just trying to make friends wherever he finds them.
Yeah, he's just trying to get something because he knows he has a fast car. He knows he can push anybody. And it seems like almost anybody can push him because he was able to get up front and kind of drive away a little bit as well.
Taking a look here throughout your top 10. Back behind this group, we have a really nice pack here of 6 cars, starting with Joshua Billiter.
Yeah, Joshua Billiter getting the push there from Angel Santiago. Bud Barnes back there as well. I mean, then you've got Angel Santiago got pushed at just the wrong time, able to save it, comes back up on track.
Wow, what a save.
Perfect. That was the perfect spot if that was going to happen, is where to go. So
just like he drew it up.
Yeah,
I'm just as planned. Wow, what a save.
Yeah, didn't even lose too much ground. Is able to stay with that pack. And here he goes.
Well, again, this group of 6 is going to try to do everything they can to catch the group of 3 in front of them. Who is trying to do everything they can to break away here, but something interesting has happened.
Yeah, I was going to say, here's the group of 3. Wes Fuller, Caleb Collins and Mark Parkhurst, as Caleb Collins gets a little bit loose. But up in front, you got Dylan McDonald and James Jones, but you also have the lap cars now of James McCaney and looks like Cody Mitchell back there.
Who was leading, remember? He was leading at the beginning of this run. And
Cody Mitchell spent 52 seconds in the pits, so pit road times and penalties are going to be the difference between him winning and where he's finishing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we have a caution on track.
Oh, second
This
group.
changes everything.
So let's go take a look here at this second group.
Oh no.
So let's go to Billeter. We'll take a look here. Looks like Bud Barnes starts to get right to that back bumper of Joshua Billeter there. Gives him a little bit of a bump just off center. Slides down. Then, slides back up. Gets those back wheels loose. Spins around. Collects
Yikes.
Bud Barnes. Bill Sleep checks up. David Mayo checks up. Angel Santiago gets stuck in the middle. Looks like
Still reckon.
the 33 of no, that wasn't the 33. That must have been. We're still wrecking. Man.
Yeah, the 93 machine.
Oh, 93. There you go. Takes it for a spin.
Yeah. Man. Well, that changes a lot, doesn't it? As
Well, pit strategy just went out the window.
yeah, absolutely.
Because
and you have
nobody's going to come to pit unless they have to. So unless they got damage, I don't believe, as apparently everybody's going to not listen to that
as the
and
field
do whatever
proved
they
you wrong.
want.
Yeah.
Because they should have all had enough fuel to make it to the end. I mean, unless something happened with tires, but Dylan McDonald will lead them down.
If you haven't taken tires, I guess you can take them now. So that might be the only strat that I see making sense.
Yeah, looks like everybody's taking 4 tires. So we have 3 that stayed out. James Jones, Mark Parkhurst, and Bill Sleep.
So out of the front 3, I don't think we've really talked about James Jones like at all today, other than he happened to come out with Dylan McDonald at the end of that fuel run. And he's had a very quiet and strong day today. And he's making it work right now. Sitting in the best position one can sit in right now is the leader. But good job for him. That's what you got to do at Daytona to be up front at the end, right? You got to have a quiet day and survive.
Yeah, as long as you survive, you'll be all right. But he did race a couple races last year, put on a pretty good showing. And then he was up towards the front in duel number 2, but had an issue and wound up getting caught up in that big wreck. So it looks like Mitchell there was hoping that these top 3 would hit pit lane so he could get his lap back, and they didn't. So he's going to hit pit lane now.
Yeah, and that's a spot I've been in many a times, especially in this league, trying to beg for a lap back under caution with top 3 in front of you, and you go, "Oh, are you sure you don't want to pit right now? Are you sure?" And ultimately, you take that long drive down pit road. It's defeating, but ultimately, we're gonna have 16 cars on lead lap to battle it out here.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this shapes up, because you've got Mark Parkhurst on the front row, Dylan McDonald on the outside of row 2, Angel Santiago, Parkhurst's teammate, and the guy that's been pushing and getting pushed from Parkhurst behind him. So I imagine if James Jones makes any sort of mistake, Dylan McDonald's going to take advantage.
Yeah, I think so. And now we're at the stage of the race. Your friends are where you find them. We're done. I think we're done finding teammates, really, unless if you're Mark Parkhurst and Angel Santiago. I think they've worked really well together. You can't ignore one another. But as for everybody else, it's pretty settled. Like, you're going to wind up working with the guy that's in front of you.
Yeah, the nice thing about the way this looks is there's lots of teammates pretty close if you're that Titletown and Rage Racing team.
Yeah, well, they have enough people, so I would hope so. And they're going to take you here to green. It's going to be James Jones, the guy we haven't talked about all night long, is going to be the one leading them here to the green flag. He's got to be careful, though. He's got a hot rod to his inside who doesn't get going. Wow, that's a huge checkup on the inside line.
Yeah, I don't know what happened back there, but Mark Parkhurst did not get going. He just slowed that whole inside line down. Everybody is just scattered trying to figure out where to go now.
Wow, totally changes the complexion of the front few, as now it's Angel Santiago finding himself in third place, wedged in between a couple of Titletown Racing competitors and Rage Racing competitors in Dylan McDonald and Ricky Gonzalez. So it only took about a tri-oval for the front five to change.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what in the world happened there, but they better get it figured out and get back to driving as Dylan McDonald goes to the inside of James Jones and makes that pass. Angel Santiago is trying to figure out which line he wants to be in. It looks like as Jonathan Leach jumps up to the high side, going to try and give Kevin Gibney Jr. a little bit of help in that hot outside lane. Wes Fuller back there as well.
Yes, and they are flying out of the corner here as they're getting squirrely out of two like they've done all day long, but somehow they save it. Wow. And that was Kevin Gibney Jr. on the high side in a four-wheel drift coming out of the corner. Taking a look at Caleb Collins getting stuck in the sucker hole, but they're all going to sort it out here going in turn three.
Yeah, Kevin Gibney Jr. is sitting back there, and Jonathan Leach is trying to push him, but they just can't seem to get on the same page back there as Caleb Collins pulls out and gets to that outside lane as Jonathan Leach was kind of stuck in the middle there. But now Caleb Collins has nobody behind him to help him at the moment. He jumps down to the inside.
Well, they're all getting single file now, so now we're going to be playing a big game of chicken. Who wants to jump out first? And there's 10 laps to go.
Jonathan Leach into the wall.
No!
Round he goes. Wrecking.
That's also going to change your race for the lucky dog, by the way, as multiple lap down cards get involved. So we'll have to see who gets their lap back. But
so sitting here, looks like Blake has a little bit of a connection issue. Jonathan Leach pulls out, trying to stay away. Wes Fuller gets a run. Bump into each other, Fuller and Leach. And Leach gets sent into the wall. Comes back down, hits Billiter. Matt Metler misses. Bill Sleep locks up the brakes, gets just by him. And James McCaney hits him. Kevin Gibney Jr. sneaks by on the high line. Kevin Mitchell. Man. Nowhere to go.
Yep, David Mospaugh's in it. He was in your lucky dog spot. He obviously makes contact there, so he won't be getting it. Wow.
Let's take a look here, just because I think it'd be nice to see. So we're on board with Bill Sleep here. So he sees all this shaking up. He sees Jonathan Leach coming back down. He locks up the brakes here.
Yikes. Yikes. It doesn't get any closer than that, does it? Wow.
No, just enough to get by. So, we will reset this thing again. And we'll see if they are able to get this thing back under control here. We did have a green flag run for quite a few laps there, as you were hoping for. So now we will see how it finishes, as we got James Jones, Dylan McDonald, Angel Santiago, Ricky Gonzalez, George Jewell inside the top 5.
Yeah, we have a loaded top 5 here. A lot of strong super speedway racers up front. But most of the time at these super speedway races, the winner comes from further on back because there's always calamity at the end. So right now James feels safe, but he's gonna have as Dylan boops him in the corner. But I think we're gonna be treated to possibly some more drama before the time is done.
Oh, we definitely will. I'm assuming that somebody's going to come from a little ways back. I mean, we have Mark Parkhurst back in 6th. Caleb Collins is back in 8th. I mean, you have Kevin Gibney Jr., last year's winner, back in 14th. So it's all about who gets that run and if you're in the right spot at the right time.
Absolutely. So we have 17 cars now on the lead lap. Marcus Chaffin got your lucky dog that last time around. But we're going to re-rack him here and start all over. And, man, that 90 car of Angel Santiago and his buddy there, Parkhurst, they haven't found each other yet, but they're really close.
I'll say they're almost close enough now. I mean, you got 2 teammates up there though with McDonald and Gonzalez, so you know they're going to be working pretty well together.
Yeah, the communication in that room, being on that team, is second to none in my time in iRacing. They communicate so well in there, different strategies and what they're trying to do. The goal of the room is always to get as many folks to the front as possible by the time the super speedway races end. And I think it was a wake-up call for the whole team when most of the squad was out under that first caution. So interesting to see these guys back up front here by the time it's done.
Yeah, Highside Racing has quite a few hooks up here as well. You got Jones, Santiago, George Jewell, and Parkhurst just on that outside lane. So if Parkhurst can get down, you got 4 teammates that can work together here and finish this thing out.
Well, let's see. Last restart, there was a big hiccup that caused the inside lane to really check up. So let's see how they get going again here coming to green.
Angel Santiago all over the back bumper of James Jones, gives him a huge shove, gets him out there a little ways. Ricky Gonzalez floats down to the inside, leaves Dylan McDonald up high all by himself right now.
They get it sorted out here in the middle of 1 and 2. The front 5 are single file, but you have a battle back there, 4-6. That's Mark Parkhurst on the outside, repping the Superman colors. You bet if there's that run charging on that outside, Angel's probably going to step out there and snag that run. It's now grown to 5 with Jonathan Leach now jumping to the outside.
Yeah, you got teammates sitting out there. So they're running the inside and outside. They're leading both lines. So we'll see if anybody elects to jump out in front. Dylan McDonald might be thinking about it, but he'll have to see Mark Parkhurst get a little bit closer now.
With 5 laps to go, the field comes roaring through the drivable. I'm taking a look here into turn 1. They are single file through the top 4, but it's now a battle for 5th as Parkhurst takes a look to the outside of the Gonzalez, and ultimately that outside line stalls out as they exit turn 2.
Yeah, that outside line just can't seem to stay together. I mean, you've got, looks like Billiter got loose and got out. Ricky Gonzalez gets stuck in that sucker hold, floating back through the field right in the middle. Mark Parkhurst and Caleb Collins are trying to make that outside line work as Dylan McDonald jumps up to try and block Parkhurst.
There's the jump by Angel Santiago. He's going to take the lead now. Coming to 4 laps to go here at Daytona, being pushed by Dylan McDonald. What a move to judge that outside line, but now it's not over yet. He's got to play both lanes.
Oh, Dylan McDonald into...
Yikes.
Oh, my. Dylan McDonald into James Jones there and spins around, and that is the big one here at Daytona.
Yeah, a lot of guys involved in this. Ricky Gonzalez, Kevin Gibney Jr., Bill Sleep's in it. James Jones is in it. A lot of strong contenders in this one.
Yeah, it looks like most of our field, the way it goes. Go back just a little bit here. Jump on with Jones here. So you can see him kind of get a little bit squirrely. Dylan McDonald jumps down to try and get behind Santiago. Not enough room. James Jones gets floated up. Dylan McDonald into Caleb Collins again gets collected. Bill Sleep collected as well. Kevin Gibney Jr., Ricky Gonzalez. And as they're going back through the field, looks like
Jonathan
the
Leach
80s just slowed down enough. Looks like he might get, just gets through it. Wes Fuller gets through it. Man.
A lot of heavyweights out in that one. But one guy that looks real pretty on the other side of this is George Jewell in that 07 machine. He's second now.
Yeah, so you got George Jewell, Angel Santiago, and Mark Parkhurst. 1, 2, 3.
Just how they drew it up. Just how they drew it up.
Yeah, that's exactly where they want to be. Cody Mitchell gets his lap back now.
Couple guys coming down pit road there. But yeah, we got top 3 filled with friends. And I said it, I don't pat myself on the back all too often, but when it comes to this league and this race, I'm going to do it. I said at the top of the show, George Jewell, he's come a long way, man. And he's not content racing in the back with the likes of me anymore. He wants to go up there and contend for wins. And man, what a story it would be if that 07 machine makes it to victory lane today.
Yeah, George Jewell, it's amazing to see his improvement. When I first started calling races for this league, he was always kind of back in the back. I mean, he'd kind of run up front, but he'd always end up middle to towards the back. But now, towards the end of that league, end of that season, he's been running more up front, at least leading some laps, basically boxing it out with the heavy hitters of this league. So it'd be one heck of a story if he gets a win. Angel Santiago's looking for his real first win here, and Mark Parkhurst is just looking for a win.
Yeah, and you take a look back here throughout the top 5. We take a look at that 25 machine of Blake Henderson. He's been sort of quiet today. I feel like we haven't talked about him quite a bit. The boss man, Jonathan Leach, sitting there in 5th. We have Wes Fuller in 6th. Josh Billiter, his teammate, back there in 7th. Our buddy Matt Metler here in 8th. James McCaney in 9th. And Marcus Chaffin, sitting in 10th. And that'll round out your top 10. We have 15, maybe 16 drivers here on the lead lap. I'm trying to take a look at timing and scoring, but
it looks like 15. Looks like Cody Mitchell just got his lap back after he wasn't able to on the last caution. So he's got his lap back. He's looking to make it back towards that top 10. He was running pretty well before he elected to pit by himself. So definitely what we were talking about earlier. You definitely want to have friends when you hit that pit lane, but with 3 laps to go, it's not going to matter now.
Yeah, so we're gonna rack them up and wind them up and let them go here as the drivers are gonna get ready here with 3 laps to go. Man, I feel like we've seen so much aggression out of this field tonight. To know that they have another level left in them is kind of scary, but I'm excited for it.
I mean, we've seen them do some crazy stuff trying to move and get to where they can be. We've seen some guys go to the back, come back to the front relatively quickly, and we're hooked up now to see Angel Santiago and Mark Parkhurst, the two that were drafting so well in stage 1, back up front and back together. So we'll see how long that lasts, or if maybe George Jewell can kind of separate them and get a little run there at the end.
Yeah, I don't know, because you think there'd be gamesmanship here at least, because they're all buddies up there. So it is kind of, George is on the outside looking in, being kind of by himself. So we'll see how they sort it out here. Getting ready to take the green. The lights are off on the pace car, and we're ready to take the green here with 3 laps to go.
Angel Santiago will lead them in. Gets a huge push there from Mark Parkhurst. Says, let's go. We're done waiting. And they are out to about a car length lead over that outside lane. But that outside lane is coming back, as you see, a little bit of an issue there for the 25 of Blake Henderson.
Yes, and they have to push George Jewell pretty hard in these last 2 laps now, as these drivers are trying to sort it out here before the white flag flies. They're barreling down the backstretch here, but they're all chasing that 90 machine.
Yeah, Angel Santiago is up front leading as they get ready to come to this white flag. 1 lap to go, and we'll see if they are gonna make it to it. And we're racing back to the checkers as George Jewell kind of gets hung out to dry there. So we got Mark Parkhurst, Angel Santiago, and Jonathan Leach. 1, 2, 3 here. Jonathan Leach looks to be almost in the catbird seat there as he's sitting 3rd.
Where did Jonathan Leach come from sitting P3, running down the backstretch? They're all chasing the 90 machine of Angel Santiago. The story has been the fact that he hasn't won anything. Well, he's got to fend off his buddy Mark Parkhurst if he wants to do it. Parkhurst with a huge run to the outside.
Parkhurst with a huge run. Jonathan Leach right on the back bumper of Angel Santiago, giving him a shove. He gets pushed out of the way, back up into the field. Around they are going to go here shortly. Blake Henderson wins the opener as they wreck behind him.
Huge wreck as they cross the start-finish line. It's Blake Henderson pulling this off. Unbelievable finish here at the line as there's just carnage everywhere. Blake Henderson survives the trial of chaos, and he's going to take the victory here the first week of MSRL.
You see them all spread out trying to get somewhere. Angel Santiago trying to block. He knew it was coming, but Blake Henderson, if he would have just barely hit Blake Henderson, Mark Parkhurst would have spun him, but here they go, coming towards that start-finish line, man.
George gets stuck in the middle there. I think your top 3 will be the 25, the 83, and the 32 sideways, or the 93 rather, but we'll have to check. I think that is how it is. The 32 will go
25
get across the line.
Second, yep.
Yeah, 25, 93, and 32 will cross the line sideways. This is after the start finish line here, but yeah, that's crazy.
Man. Well, heck, man. Let's see if we can get... So they're saying Matt Metler is 3rd, Mark Parkhurst 2nd, and Blake Henderson for the win.
Well,
I guess...
Well, I don't know. Like on iRacing, here on our timing and scoring, Matt Metler's third. And then on iRacing's timing and scoring, as I pull it up here, Matt is second and Mark is third.
I would say that's the way it should probably be. So let's get Mark Parkhurst up here for his third place finish. I'll let you see if you can get him.
All right. Mark, it's Zach up in the booth.
Hey, Zach. What's up, buddy?
It's been a little while, but not too long. It looked like you were in the catbird seat there towards the end of this thing. You crossed the line sideways to finish third. Walk us through those laps, those last, few laps of this thing.
I was hooked up with Angel there. We were going. We were way out ahead there, a little too far ahead, honestly. I think, and they got a big run in behind. I saw the 25 coming with a run, so I tried to get up to block that, and he just found a little gap up there, make it 3 wide, which I mean is what it is. I can't be too upset with a third, but I mean second and third in this race the 2 years I've ran it. I want to sit down on top of that podium for once.
Well, you talked earlier in the race the challenges of the car early in this thing. And we were talked about in the booth quite often about how if you and that 90 machine got together, you'd be a force to be reckoned with. How confident were you getting the 2 to go, I guess, as the green flag flew once again, that you and Angel were going to pull that off?
I figured it was going to be our race to lose, honestly. I mean, we had another teammate, George Jewell, up top there controlling the high side. And like I said, we just got, I feel like, a little too far out in front because I saw the 86 and I didn't see anybody else for a couple car lengths back. And I think just that little gap between him and everybody else might have been what did it in the end there.
Well, Mark, how excited are you taking a look forward throughout this season at MSRL? How excited are you to put in another year here with these guys?
Oh man, I'm so excited for it. I came so close to winning races last season. I found just about every single way to lose one as well. So hopefully I got them all out of the way and I can win a couple this season.
All right. Well, Mark, I'm going to leave this time up to you for thank you sponsors and shout outs for your third place finish tonight here at Daytona.
All right. Well, first of all, I got to thank my teammates at HSR, new team name this season, with Angel, George Jewell, Greg Wood, Jr. and Senior. We had good strategy. Some of it didn't go quite to play with Greg, both Junior and Senior, once again getting wrecked out early. But me and Angel, George, we worked pretty well together all night. I worked some with Titletown as well. But I got to thank any friends that tuned into this. My mom, she always supports my races. And John Gutekunst over at Goose Graphics for making up the beautiful Superman scheme for me and throwing those MSRL banners on there last minute.
Yeah, those banners are important, aren't they?
Yeah, man, I don't want no points penalty. It's race one.
Yeah, well, Mark, congrats on the third place finish, sideways across the finish line. Go enjoy it.
I will. Hopefully next season I can talk to you from the winner's circle.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Hey, Matt, Mike up in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Heck of a race, man. Almost were able to get through there at the end, but came up just a little bit short. But at least you weren't sideways, right?
Hey, you know, I took the Ross Chastain line up near the fence at the end. I didn't think I had a hope and a prayer to get up there. I'm just ecstatic. I mean, I started this thing near the back of the field with our boss man, Jonathan Leach. Big shout out to him. I learned a ton from him this race. I can't thank him enough. On the restart there, I got a bad push, and I opened up a huge gap, and I was very upset because I figured, well, there goes any chance. And somehow, somewhere or another, I just seen an opening to the top side, and I took it. And then I kind of got forced up there into the Ross Chastain line and come across the line, scraping the wall P2, and couldn't ask for a better way to start this league off. I am ecstatic right now. Hopefully it was fun up there for you guys.
Yeah, you guys definitely put on a show. A little bit of everything. Even managed to squeeze in a decent long green flag run to get those green flag pit stops. But once again, congrats on P2. Anybody else you want to thank on that car tonight?
On the car, it's pretty much just Metallica. But I want to give Angel a shout out for giving me an opportunity to come and race in this league. So big shout out to him. Big shout out to SRM, the boss man, for teaching me a ton. And we'll take it, man. P2, I feel like I won this thing.
Awesome, Matt. We'll let you go.
Thanks, you guys. Good job on the broadcast. Sounded awesome up there.
Thanks. All right, Zach, I will let you talk to our winner.
Hey, Blake, long time no talk. It's Zach Woods up in the booth. You got a copy?
How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing pretty good. It's great to see you here.
Yeah.
You managed to surprise a lot of people there on that last little green flag stint. Did you feel like you had a chance winning it? Because you were surrounded by, folks who were teamed up with one another, and you seemed to be kind of out there on your own.
Yeah, most of that last wreck kind of wiped out my two teammates in Gibney and Gonzalez, and my other teammate Chafin was back in 10th, and I was all alone. Honestly, had damage at the end too because I got a piece of that last one, so I was just praying. And then when me and Jewel couldn't get anything going, I saw a gap on the bottom, and I just went for it.
Well, I feel like I hardly saw your car for most of the race. What was the strategy for you trying to survive here at Daytona? I mean, I know I saw you a time or two, but you definitely weren't on Mike and I's mind until the very end of this thing. Do you normally have a strategy, just kind of hang out and wait for these things to pan out?
Yeah, for this one especially, I tried to just bide my time, wait, sit in the back. Most of my team was on the same strategy, just sitting in the back. Got unlucky with a few wrecks, but once it hit 10 to go and that caution hit, it was go time. I was giving her all she had.
Well, Blake, you did a great job tonight. You kept the car straight across the finish line. That's more than what most of the field can say as they all cross the finish line sideways. But I want to hand this over to you for thank you, sponsors, and shout outs.
Yeah, first of all, thank y'all to Deep Racing. First race with Deep Racing. First race that's not on my own team. Pulled out a dub. I'm proud to get this team back-to-back Daytona wins. Got to thank my teammates, Gibney Jr., Richie Gonzalez, and Marcus Chafin. We all worked really hard at this thing, practiced a lot. And yeah, Henderson Graphics, that's my design company. So if you want some designs, all of Deep Racing tonight had a Henderson Graphics car. So if you like what you saw, hit me up on Instagram and I'll get you going.
All right. Well, they'll all be chasing you next week. But congratulations, Blake. You wound up getting the win here tonight. Go enjoy it.
Daytona, baby, how about it? Let's go.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it doesn't get more exciting than that, does it?
No, because I was thinking back, and the last thing I think I said was there was a little bit of an issue there for Henderson, and then he goes off and wins the race. So, I mean, we'll go ahead and go through these race results here.
Well, taking a look here at your winner, of course, it's Blake Henderson taking this one here at Daytona. Talked to Matt Metler. He feels like he won this thing, getting across the line P2, and then Mark Parker's Superman rounding out your top three tonight. George Jewell, feel-good story of the night, finishing fourth, and then Angel Santiago leading going into that final lap, was able to come home fifth. Ricky Gonzalez, Mark Chaffin, Jonathan Leach in eighth, Joshua Builder in ninth, and Caleb Collins rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, and then you go back to 11th with Wes Fuller, Richard Gonzalez in 12th, James McKinney 13th, James Jones, who was up front towards the end of that run, falls back to 14th, Cody Mitchell 15th, Kevin Gibney Jr., David Mode, right? Modespa? Modespa?
Yep, you got it. Hey, yeah.
Bud Barnes in 18th. And then we go to Dylan McDonald, Bill Sleep, David Mayo, Rhett Balzer, Michael Pittman Jr., Greg Wood Sr., Brian Kaufman, Jonathan Cogswell, and pole setter Greg Wood Jr.
Ooh, I feel like we ran a marathon.
Man,
we didn't even go.
I mean, it's awesome sharing the booth with you, Zach. I mean, it was a heck of a race. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know what more you could ask for. I mean, if the season's going to be like this, I mean, they got what, 28 races?
Yeah,
Something like that?
they do, and
So
they're ready to go for a long, long season. And Lots of great storylines leaving Daytona, and then ultimately, people have to understand, it's a long season. So if you finish, towards the back, we talked about a lot of big names there at the end of the field tonight. They have a chance to rectify that and make that better as the season goes along. So, really excited to observe this league, and yeah, it was great coming up in the booth with you, Mike. This has been great.
Well, with that being said, for everybody at SRM and the Monsters of Speed NewGen Cup Series, I am Mike Damoni alongside Zach Woods, and we will see you guys all next week. Good night.